Hey guys, it's Kristen, and today I'm talking about the new Netflix Marvel television show Jessica Jones, starring Krysten Ritter. With only 13 episodes, it's a really quick watch. I don't want to give away too much because I think that this is a show that really warrants sitting and watching the whole thing through to kind of figure out what's going on, and I don't want to spoil anything, but Jessica Jones is about a girl named Jessica Jones who is a private investigator, and she also has these abilities that make her a superhero. But she's not a typical superhero with a cape and, a whole outfit. In fact, she doesn't really feel like she's a hero. She just knows that she has powers and she wants to do good things and she wants to help people. There are a bunch of cases that she gets, and they all kind of end up leading back to this mysterious person from her past who has it out for her. If you liked Daredevil, which is another Netflix Marvel collaboration, you might like this one as well. They're both set in the same place in Hell's Kitchen in New York City, but this show is a lot darker, it's more noir. It definitely feels more like a crime drama or a psychological thriller than a classic superhero show. I love Krysten Ritter. I haven't seen her in something like this before. I feel like she has done other projects like darker like this, but I know her from, like Gilmore Girls and from Don't Trust the Bee, so this was really cool to see her in a really tough role, like a darker, grittier, more sarcastic person. Well, I guess she always has that sarcastic humor, but to see her in a role like this, it felt very different than what I've seen her in before, so I loved it. What I love about Marvel characters in general is that it's never just easy for them because they have powers. There's always some kind of, realistic problems going on in their lives. Take Tony Stark, for instance. In the comic books, he has an alcohol problem, and they have a lot of that in Jessica Jones, which I really appreciate. It makes her more of a realistic character. Jessica Jones is not a perfect superhero, and in fact, she doesn't even feel like she deserves to be a superhero. She has these powers. She wants to be a hero, but there are so many things in her past that have happened that she feels like she doesn't deserve to be one. She has a really dark past that she has to deal with, and she also kind of struggles sometimes with these gray areas that she has to figure out what's the right thing to do. She drinks a lot, she is sarcastic, sometimes she's just unpleasant, but she is always trying to do the right thing, and there's just this core good in her. She's just trying to get through, her day. She's just trying to survive in the city. This show has been very well received, not only in the tone and the aesthetic of it, which is really dark and gritty, but also in the tough topics they cover. They really cover rape and assault and sexuality and post-traumatic stress disorder in a way that is just really well done, and I think could be a model for other television shows. We're also introduced to a lot of characters you might recognize from other Marvel properties, like Luke Cage, who is also going to get his own Marvel Netflix television show that's going to take place a little bit after the events of Jessica Jones, who's played by Mike Colter. And he was a really great Luke Cage. I thought we were going to see him a little bit more in this series, but we really got to see the connection between him and Jessica, and I think that's going to be really good moving forward into his own television show and into the next season of Jessica Jones. And then we have Kilgrave, played by David Tennant, who is this mysterious antagonist character who can read minds, and we don't know much about him in the very beginning, and I think they did a really great job of introducing his character because even when you have not met him yet, you still see the effects that he has on people, and he becomes one of Marvel's scariest villains because he's so multifaceted. You see so many different sides of him. I think that is what makes Kilgrave such a great character. He doesn't see himself as a villain. He doesn't think that what he's doing is wrong. At some points you feel bad for him, at some points you hate him, but then you realize that, this is all kind of part of his game. He is a manipulator, and he's manipulating the people around him and the audience as well. And I just think they did a really great job writing his character. We also meet Trish Walker, who is Jessica Jones' best friend. They are kind of like sisters in a way. They grew up together. She knows, Jessica's secret that, she has these powers. And we also meet Will Simpson, who's an NYPD sergeant, who has a very black and white thought process when it comes to what justice is. He doesn't see the gray areas. It's just like this or that. There's nothing in between, and I think that's really important to know, as the series goes on. There's Trish's mom, there's this lawyer that she works with who actually in the comics was a man, and they made it a lesbian woman in this series, which I think is really cool. Then there's the twins who live upstairs, and then there's her neighbor Malcolm, who is this druggie that she is kind of always looking out for and is always helping. I just cannot wait to see what they're going to do in a season 2. You know, I feel like the ending felt complete, so it feels like the next season is going to be something totally different, and I definitely want to check out, you know, the next Luke Cage show, and if they're working on the Defenders and things like that, I definitely am interested in checking them out. Going into the series, I really didn't know what to expect because I don't know much about Jessica Jones, and I think that is something that Marvel does really well. You know, they did that with Guardians of the Galaxy, they did that to an extent with Ant-Man, taking stories and taking characters that people don't know very well, that are not mainstream popular, and just making you love them. You know, they introduce you to these new characters and you're like, wow, like this is amazing. And that's how I feel about Jessica Jones. I really feel like this is one of the best Marvel shows that I've watched. Thank you guys so much for watching my review. Let me know what you guys thought about Jessica Jones in the comments below, and if you haven't watched the series yet, it's on Netflix. Make sure to check it out. If you like this review, make sure to give it a thumbs up and click that subscribe button if you like my videos, because I come out with new ones every week. See ya!